Okay, what you're looking at right here is an aloe vera, and it's probably, I think that's about a 3-gallon pot. And today I'm going to repot this. I'm going to tease out the roots and get these pups off of here, hopefully intact, so they can be potted, and show you how this process goes. It's a pretty decent size aloe vera, and you can see right here there's a whole bunch of pups. To give you a perspective of how big it is, there's my hand. You can give you an idea. You can see how big this plant is. It's quite heavy. I need help getting the plant out of the pot. I'll have to flip it, and then someone else will have to remove the pot. It's a 4-hand job. So I'll take you through that process, but I'm going to go off camera and get this sucker flipped, and when I come back, you'll see the unpotted plant. Okay, so we've got it flipped. You can see it there. It's out of the pot. Nice and pretty. I only broke a couple of leaves here. You can see that one leaf there. Now, those little pups I'm not concerned with. I'll explain why in a second. I'll take you over and show you why, actually. But you can normally take these little pups out. I'll show you the process for that. And you can actually pot those up, and you'll just get a new aloe vera plant. Right here. You're going to need yourself one of these. This is like a, I don't know what you call it, bonsai scraper tool for teasing the roots. Because what we're going to do is get into this soil and tease out these little pups, because they are actually hindering the growth of this larger aloe. And I may pot up some of the pups, but let me take you over and show you the result of doing this process last year. Right there. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, they're all about 1-gallon aloes. I'm going to tease out the roots and get these pups off of here, hopefully intact, so they can be potted, and show you how this process goes. Okay. So I usually put mulch on the top of my potted plants because I don't want any other weeds and stuff to grow inside the plant. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get that mulch out, because I don't want it mixed with any dirt that comes off of this. So that's what I'm doing. All right, now which pup do I want to try to go for first? The idea behind having it in a tray is that all the dirt will be captured. Yeah, a little bit's going to fall out, but I want to try to reuse as much as I can. You can maybe not see, I may grab the camera here. Yeah, right here you can see little feeder roots. And for now, I'm going to stop there to get down to some real roots. Now, this process is actually going to be not nearly as, let's say, suave. That's probably not the right word. As what you might think it would be. It's going to be a bit of destruction going on here. Okay. Bringing a bucket and frame to store this dirt. Could just scoot it off to the side, but might as well just get it out of there. All right. So I've got a pup, and I want to get it out of there. I got to figure out where his base is. There we go. You can probably see plenty of roots now. Okay, now the rest of this I find is easier if I get my fingers in there. All right, I get my finger and my hand around the base of this. this little guy, this little pup. And then I try to rake into the roots a bit until I can get my hand and try to pull them out. And I rake the roots a little bit in certain spots to try to loosen up the soil and gently try my best to work the roots out. And that's the result. So this is very much like a cactus. It's very easy to get these things to root and grow. And when you come away with this much root, you can pretty much guarantee that plant's going to grow to maturity. So that's potentially one aloe vera to pot up. But that's what the pups look like. You can see their normal rosette type structure. I guess that's the right term, where it's kind of spread out evenly and symmetrical. You can see how that's not there. But in very short order, you pot this, those plants will come out, and they'll start to take that shape, and they'll be quite beautiful, especially when you start them this large. Now you can see after taking one out how easy it is to start getting your hand in there. Maybe it's not coming out on camera. Oh, see, I got it. A finger going right up in there.
Sweet.
Yeah, so now the next one, I can get my hand pretty much all the way around the base, the stalk of it, rake out some of that dirt, and then the same process. Start trying to work them out gently and try to come away with some root when you do. Oh, this one's huge.
He's an asshole, sir.
All right, come on, guy. Get out of there. And I'm actually pulling on it. There you go. Nice big aloe vera. It'll do nicely. Okay, now this one's going to be much easier. Okay, come on with me. Here we go. Every one of these. So last year when I did this process, I pulled off probably 15 of these little aloe vera plants, these little aloe vera pups. Even things with roots that small, no problem. Just bury it a little bit deeper. Yeah, you'll be fine. Anyway, last year I had about 15 or so that I pulled off. This year there's a lot more. And I had 100% live. So I ended up having to give a bunch away. I'm not quite in the business of selling aloe vera, but very easily could be. And if you live in the cross timbers of Texas, it's extremely easy to grow these. Like I said, they're very much like growing a prickly pear cactus. They need a little bit more water than a prickly pear, but not a ton more. And you pretty much can just put them just about anywhere. They need sun, but they can grow in part shade just fine, especially in our extremely hot Texas summers. All right, let's see if it's coming out here. Yeah, you can see the cavity here. You got the base of the main plant, and then I got all these little pups. So now that I've created a hole, it's actually very easy to just go in this way and start. I could, if I'm not going to keep them, just start pulling them out of there. But I don't want to damage the roots of the main plant very much. So I still want to try to very carefully pull them out. Now look at this little guy here. Look at that. Oh. Yeah, see? It's got a couple little feeders and a main taproot a little bit. So yeah, that'll root up just fine. Little tiny one. Guess what everybody in my family's gonna get for Christmas? Everybody's getting aloe vera plants, right? Of course, I'm joking. Another little one. Submit to my authority. Come on. There we go. Not bad. Not great. I would prefer to get more, but that ain't bad. Look at that. Nice aloe vera. This is almost kind of starting to spread out like a rosetta. Yeah, I let this go too far. The reason why I let this go too far this year is this aloe bloomed on me, and I wanted to see what happened. But normally the time of the year that I would do this happened to coincide with when it bloomed, and I didn't want to take the chance of shocking the plant. I will say, when I've done this process, I've never noticed any major shock to the plant of any kind. It thrives. It seems to love it when I do this. So maybe it was an unfounded fear, but not bad. But I still wanted to see it, satisfy my curiosity. There's a video on the channel that actually shows the bloom that this little guy, this plant produced. But because of that, I'm now getting to it in the fall. I do a lot of repotting in the fall, actually. In Texas, it's like you have 2 growing seasons, spring and fall. Yeah, this one probably actually would make it with that little tiny feeder, but its growth will take longer. So that's just, I'm going to throw that for compost. Oh, I took out a leaf. Compost. Yeah, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. I'm actually excited. That one worked out well. I think I'll pot that one up. Yeah, I'll probably only pot up like 3 or 4 of these and chunk the rest in the compost. But for the enterprising individual, this is a plant that you can make easy money. Yeah, I didn't want to destroy that root, but it's not the world's worst. You will cause some damage to the roots, but overall it's like giving it a prune. You can prune roots just like you prune leaves. Oh, beautiful. Oh yeah, that's gonna work nice. Okay, about almost wrecked this one side. Getting all these out. Compost. If I saved or potted every bit of material that I get in excess from my plants, I could make a ton more money and I'd be a lot more busy. But I got other things. Oh, this is beautiful. Look how big this beast is. Look at that.
That's what she said.
Look at that. That's huge. And then I got a nice root. That's going to have to be potted. It's just too nice not to pot up. And this is what always happens. I get so much free plant material from my yard. And then sometimes the pack rat in me, I just can't let it go. And I pot it up, and that's what it got out of hand. I had hundreds and hundreds of pots, which is nice when you're selling stuff. But when you want to not do that no more, you either let it all die or you, like me, just take care of it until you can get rid of it. See, there's roots on this one. It just came right out of there. And it would grow, but with all the nice specimens I'm getting, I'm not going to mess with it. So, you know, a lot of people I know want to do this, but they have a full-time job. And, you know, I did that. I did that for 21 years. And professional, sitting in an office. And, yeah, it's really tough to do something like this, even you had a full-time job. So I get it. That one's nice. Look at that. So yeah, you may not be able to tell on camera, but I'm actually putting some significant strength behind pulling some of these out of here. So, you know, don't be squeamish. You know, the only thing you really should care about, damaging is the main root of the main plant, which is actually not easy to do. You kind of have to try hard to do it. So I would just not be squeamish. Would have liked to got more on this one, but that will live. Okay. And you want to get all the buds. If you see new buds starting like this guy, I don't know if it's coming out on camera. All right, so right here under my finger is a little green tip. It looks like a little piece of grass coming out of there. That's actually a new bud starting. I want to pluck those off. So I don't want this guy to bud off. I want the main aloe vera to get big and maybe bloom again. You see, Got a nice feeder root on this guy. That would grow, but it's just too small for me to mess with at this point. Same as that one. Let's get these out of there. This big beast I'm gonna try to get. How long until you can sell it? Well, when you sell a nursery plant, you're typically selling the roots, really. You're selling healthy rootstock is what you're really selling. That one's beautiful. You got a beautiful white root. Yeah, this is a good specimen to pot up. So when you pot these up, obviously, the roots are just getting started. And it will be probably the end of spring next year. They'll have filled up their pots with their roots significantly enough that you could justify selling it. And pot these up into about a 1 gallon. And you could sell a 1 gallon aloe vera. And how many people want aloe veras? Well, it's a non-native plant, but you ain't got to feel bad about selling it because there's pretty much no chance it'll go invasive. And it's, for some reason, a plant that a lot of people kill, so they buy them a lot. So, oh, wow, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Big one, too. Big aloe vera. But if all you do is find a place in your yard that gets morning and evening sun, or morning sun, or just evening sun, and so it gets some full sun at some part in the day, at least a good 3 hours, and then get some dapple sun the rest of the day. Give it about as much water, a little bit more water than you would give a prickly pear cactus, but not a ton more. And then bring it inside before it gets below 30 degrees, and it'll be pretty much unkillable. You should get rid of these pups when they come out. Now, you can pluck them off before they get this big, if you want to. But if you're like me and you like backup plants in case your main plant dies, you know, you can always grab some of them and pot them off so you have some backup plants. Or you can go into business selling them. It doesn't really matter. Let's see if we're still framed here. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever floats your boat, but rest assured it's a constant source of aloe. Just having an aloe. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that. Ooh-wee. Okay. Aloe Vera time. Come on, get out of there. There we go. That actually can make it. Okay. Oh, that was nice. Oh, that one just fell out. Did I catch that on camera? Yeah, so I just raked the roots, and then it just started falling out. So ideally, that's what you want to do before you go yanking on them, but you don't have to really get it that far. Sometimes these roots, the angles they grow, you're just never going to get any of it out without damaging. They get intertwined. But that one's not bad. All you really need is one halfway decent feeder root, and the rest will take care of itself. You just put it in some good, well-drained, rich potting soil, and I guarantee it'll make it. While I'm at it, I'll go ahead and take this stuff out of there, use it for compost. And there's an incredible zen aspect to this. I just love doing this kind of stuff. This is the kind of repotting I like doing. Come on, baby. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't think I'm going to get it. Oh, maybe. Oh. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this leaf is not healthy. I'm going to get some cutters for that. Basically mush. Get out of there. Okay. Okay, I got a bud in there. Gotta get that out of there. I don't want you growing back. You may not be able to catch it on camera, and my hands are too dirty to touch the camera right now. But there's a little bud starting right here in the very base of this larger aloe. And while I'm at it, you can see this leaf. It's not got much more life left on it. Should go ahead and take it out. Yeah, that thing's toast. So yeah, I'll be going through here and getting those out once I get all these pups out of the way. You can see, if you look at my video from last year, you'll see that, I'll raise this up a little bit. See the base, like this one, this pup is gone, it'll be easier to see, but you can see that, I'll block that out. And if you look last year, once I get all these dead leaves out, you can see how these pups actually made the main plant smaller. So it really is something that you have to take care of. You have to get rid of these pups. It's better for your main plant. Look at that beauty. Look at that beast. Yeah. That's a two-hander. All right. Ooh, it's so cute. Look how cute. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay. Oh, got some acorns. It's like a Easter egg hunt in here. Okay. Is that one big giant aloe pup? It is. Oh, let's hope I get this sucker intact. And it's the last one, folks. All right. Patience. There we go. Most of this soil will be able to be reused. It'll put it right back in the same pot. Okay. Nice. Okay. Oh. Oh, and the last one was just beautiful. Look at that. Oh man, big one too. Look at that. Yeah, it's got a little bebe dingling coming out there. Look at that. All right. Okay. Boy. Well, let's do some trimming and beautification of the main plant. While you're in here, if there's any old leaves on the outside edge that just ain't providing any benefit, like something like this, I don't know if you can see, I'll have to move the camera. We'll get rid of something like that. Might get rid of this. Okay. All right, I'm just taking a look here. All right. So while I still got it focused on the roots, you can see that I did a lot of teasing up here where the pups were, but haven't teased anything down here. So I'm going to take this soil out, which should reduce the size of this dirt ball. I would call it a root ball, but the roots haven't completely filled this space. So I need to reduce this size because it'll make it that much easier to get into the same pot that I had it in. Why is it important to get it in the same pot I had it in? Well, you never want to pot something up higher than necessary, and I really do believe that the root ball of this main plant just doesn't support going into a bigger pot. We'll see when we get done with it, but I'm not going to try to make a square peg fit in a round hole, but You never should either. Get back there. Okay, I need to get it probably out of this tray. I can't use my rake. That's a technique that I didn't use before. Pushing down on it. All right, let's get this root ball. Get some of that soil off. There's no root binding. There's no circles of roots going around the pot. Everything looks very healthy. Lots of feeder roots. Okay. Beautiful. And what I'm remarking about is all these little white feeder roots, which you're not going to be able to see from there. When I get it all teased out, I'll get the camera and rake it around real close, try to show you these feeder roots, these little white feeder roots. So y'all know, once you see those, you need not go much deeper. I usually go, once I see those feeder roots, the really healthy feeder roots, and it depends on what I'm trying to do with the plant, to be honest, but on this particular situation, I'm just trying to pot it up to make the main real mother plant healthier. I'll probably go in no deeper than about an inch. So in other words, these little feeder roots will be sticking out of the dirt ball by about an inch. Now, you do need to tease the bottom, the actual bottom of the dirt ball. That's what you don't want to happen. And I did it. But it's not the end of the world, because there's a massive root ball here. It will live. As you've seen with these other plants, as long as you got a critical mass level of feeder roots, the plant will regrow its root ball just fine. Okay. Now is a good time to take off those unruly leaves here. Okay, let's get some perspective here. There's the cleaned up plant. And you can see from, if you look at the past frames where how big the root ball took up in that tray, you can see how much it takes up now. It's substantially smaller. Here's the pot that it came in. It's going to fit back in quite nicely. Over here to the right, you see most of them, at least the ones I didn't toss on the ground, most of the ones that are available for repotting. Got a nice big pile. How many? I would guesstimate about 15, maybe 20. Very, very large aloe veras that came from it. You can look at the video where it bloomed. You can see how much smaller the leaves are. But it will fill back in quite nicely. I removed all the dead leaves, all the dying leaves. And you can see how much of the root ball is exposed. Let's try to take you around here. Get a little bit closer. You can see. I'm going to get this sucker potted up, get those roots covered back up, and then show it to you when I'm done. So the first thing that I always do, I've done other repotting videos and potting videos. The first thing that I always do is I put about, see these holes? I put enough soil and I pack it quite tight in the bottom, about this high above these holes. So that's the first thing I'll be doing. And this is how much dirt. You can see there's still dirt in the tray right there. But down there, you can see basically a half of a 5-gallon bucket of dirt came off that sucker. So I'm gonna use that dirt to get this sucker repotted. Little crooked, it's leaning. You can see I don't like that, and I would normally adjust it, but I've potted it this much, I'm not going to redo it. And I'll probably end up having to pot it next year to pull pups off. And a more skilled horticulturist probably knows how to keep this from pupping. But one thing I could pot it in, I could have probably gotten away with a smaller bucket to pot it in, but essentially that part's potted. So I'm going to put this on the ground and mulch it and water it in, and I'll show you the finished product when it's done. Okay, here it is. Now, you probably won't be able to tell, but on this back side, I piled wood chips up under the plant to prop it up high this way because it was kind of leaning, and it straightened it out considerably. You can see pretty much comes straight up now. Eventually I'll lower these wood chips so the water don't run off, but until then I can create like a little trough through the center, so when I top water this thing, the water won't run completely off the sides. But we'll get a zoomed out shot. You can see it. Compare this to how it looked when I first got started. I probably could have taken some of those leaves off on the outside, but yeah, there it is, a repotting of an aloe.
You really, you fucked the pooch on this one.
Okay, so you see I got 5 1-gallon pots over here and a stack of aloe vera, I guess you could call it seed stock, on the left. I'm going to pot up one, and you can see what I do with some of these aloe vera. And obviously you can imagine I rinse and repeat that for as many as I want. I'll probably keep about 5 of these and toss the rest in compost. Maybe keep the leaves around for a little while in case somebody gets a cut. I mean, when you do this kind of work, it's going to happen, so might as well. All right, let's see here. Pick out my samples. I'm going to go ahead and cut to that because I want to bore you with picking out samples. I want to pick out 5 of the best ones. I figured out my first specimen. I got lucky. The one that has the biggest greenery also has the biggest roots. So first I figure out my planting depth, exactly where I want this sucker sitting. And I think I can do a 3/4 gallon fill here instead of going a full gallon. All right, so that's basically it. I got some final packing to do on this. I'm gonna lay some wood chips on top of the dirt and water in the dirt. But you can see at first how they all lean to one side. That's because of the way they were in the pot as pups. But rest assured, it won't take very long at all. A couple months, it'll splay out into your normal arranged aloe. And then those pots, she'll fill in the roots, even in reduced temperatures. Like I said, it won't get below 30 because I bring it inside. And as long as you treat it that way, it should grow just fine. So yeah, I'm gonna do about 5 more. 5 of the biggest, these kind of guys.